As Bitcoin's price does start to tank and pull the rest of the market down with it, Solana has now failed to do something that we thought could very possibly put us in position to see $200 to even up to $245. So in today's video, we're going to talk about this move that has now failed and what we can expect from the price of Solana going forward, and exactly how I'm going about it in order to still minimize my losses and maximize my gains no matter what is going on in the market. So of course, as we did mention, Bitcoin itself has now lost that key level of macro support in which we have been tracking for the last few months. As you can see, we have put multiple touches and closes on this key level here, and the fact that we have now lost it does put us in a position to see the market continue to correct towards the downside. Well, as that happens, we can see here that Solana is losing currently an absolutely crucial level of support around $98.6, and so for that reason, we now need to expect the possibility of even up to 10 to 15% in losses from this point forward while we are below that level. Now, of course, looking at Solana, what we've been talking about recently is its historical tendencies. What does it historically do whenever we see breakouts? So usually what we'll see is an overextension followed by an extreme pullback, a very sharp pullback to the downside. From there, once we get that pullback to the downside, we will see the break of the trend line, the backtesting of the macro Fibonacci 0.618 to 0.786 golden zone, before eventually seeing the support establishment and the continuation to the top side to set the new higher highs. That is the order in which it usually goes in. Almost every single breakout that I've ever tracked for Solana will go in that exact way, okay? So for that reason, as we started to see the price breaking out of that macro level of resistance, we were under the expectation that if it was able to break this macro level of resistance and able to hold as it backtested at 0.618 to 0.786 Fibonacci zone, that we definitely could be in a position to see growth of up to $200 to $245 to reach some of those higher macro Fibonacci levels. So for that reason, we were doing a little bit of accumulating at this level because I was and still am very bullish on Solana and thought, this is a very justifiable buy. And if we hold here, we definitely could look to see some growth soon. And so for that reason, we did some accumulating at $101. So I definitely don't regret that, but in hindsight, of course, we could have waited a little bit longer, but at the end of the day, I don't look at purchases and say that was a wrong purchase if there was justified meaning behind it. And so for that reason, of course, we did just a little very small 1% accumulation here. We need to start to look like, okay, where is the next level? What is coming soon? Like, what can we expect next? So one thing that I've been saying is that I was only doing small accumulations at this level for the sole reason that if we were to lose this $98.6 level, that we very possibly could be in position to see a pullback to $88 or even as low as $78, okay? I said it is usually the case that when we lose a 618 level, that we will then resort to the 0.786 level. It almost always happens. Now, nothing is guaranteed in crypto, right? One thing we can see is that we do have this macro high sitting right here. We came back up and we set this little high. It's more of a micro high. Set this little high right here. So the price very possibly could backtest this previous look. If I just draw a straight line, you can see, it's what we're doing right now. But we came back, we're backtesting this, so who knows? Maybe this pushes us back above 618, and we don't even have to worry about the 786. But while we are below the 618 level, we need to be very, very cautious with exactly how we go about this, because what we very possibly could see happen is another thing that Solana just loves to do, which is support to resistance flips, in which key levels of support, which is exactly what this is. We came back to a key level of support and we put these multiple closes above it or at it. That confirms it as a macro level of support. And once we fall below it, we very possibly could come back to retest it, backtest it as resistance, and then continue to get pushed towards the 0.786, which of course the loss of that results in a push back down towards the $78 level, okay? So what I'm going to be going ahead and do is slowing down buying almost completely. I'm really not going to be doing any more accumulating at this point until we are capable of getting back above this 0.618 level. I don't want to see this become the zone that continues to push us towards the downside, that makes us retest the bottom side of our key zone here, before even possibly revisiting the bottom side of this range, in which we come back to revisit $78, which looks like a fall at this point of up to 20%. I don't want to get caught in that, okay? Now, I do believe that it is very possible that we do see a bounce at one of these levels, whether it be off of this macro high, whether it be at the 786, or, worst case scenario, we come all the way to the $78 level. I am still under the belief that we are and will going to get a bounce before, we do see just a strong crash towards the $50 level. It would almost shock me if we don't, okay? Some of the reasons being, you just look at things like the daily RSI, you can see that we are near complete on a reset. We're already back to the 40 level, while the price is still floating pretty high, right? We're still sitting at our macro Fibonacci. We are still about 60% corrected. We're not all the way back down below some of these lows as we are here on the RSI. And what I mean by that is you can see we're still higher than this point, but when you put that into perspective with this low in which we created on the RSI at that time, we've set the lower low. That's bullish divergence. That just says that the price is not resetting as fast as the bullish or the indicators themselves are, which is bullish in nature because it says that the bears will very likely get exhausted sooner than the price itself will retrace completely, okay? And so you look at something like the 4-hour RSI for even further perspective, and you can see that we are still seeing strong drives of bullish divergence, and that although we did see this huge pull to the downside on the 4-hour, we are still setting these higher lows. This is hidden bullish divergence. This tells us that we are still in a position in which, although the RSI is trending upwards and the price is trending downwards, momentum is clearly changing from what we saw back here, which means that the bears are struggling a lot more than they previously were. The bulls are starting to just kick into gear as we do get towards this key level of support, and we very possibly could see them start to turn the tide and win the battle at any given point. But considering the fact that, again, we did lose that macro level of support at the $98.6 level, considering the fact that we did lose this 50-day moving average, considering the fact that on the weekly perspective, this looks like a Bollinger Band rejection off the 20 simple moving average, which puts us into a position in which we could fall as low as $47 to revisit the bottom side of our Bollinger Band envelope. All of these things say that there are still risks to buying right now, and personally speaking, until we're capable of at least getting back above 99.8 or 99 to $98.6, I am going to be extremely careful, and I'm going to slow down quite a bit. Okay, so I'm not trying to be the bear. I'm not trying to be that guy who's spreading FUD. I'm not trying to be that guy who's just kind of bursting people's bubbles. Of course, if you're one of those people who just dollar cost averages no matter what the market does, this video doesn't really apply to you. But if you are looking to get these well-timed justifiable buys, I would for sure say that at this point, I would slow it down a little bit, and I'm going to kind of be very cautious and very tediously watch this price, because we are in a position to possibly see even up to 7 to even up to 20% in losses before looking to start to get a bounce again. So for that reason, that's kind of my thesis. That's why my opinion on what's going on right now. Definitely not as bullish as I was when we were holding this level of support, but nonetheless still bullish in the thought that we will get a bounce sooner than later, which I do think could put us in a position to even revisit back up to these highs here. So for that reason, that is going to be realistically about it for today's video. Now, before we do go ahead and wrap the video completely up, I did want to let you guys know about today's sponsor, which is of course BitGet. Now, you guys know I'm not really super big on the sponsors. I don't bring a lot of them to the channel, but when something comes across to me that I think could be beneficial to my subscribers, I'll bring them on the channel, no problem. And BitGet does offer some unique things, especially being the fact that they are one of the top 5 crypto exchanges on CoinMarketCap and CoinGecko. Now, considering the fact that they have over $5 billion in active daily volume, as well as over 1.8 million registered users, I would say that they do seem pretty legitimate. They definitely have the volume and liquidity in order to be able to back up just about anything in what you are trying to do on the exchange. And considering the fact that they have seen a lot of strong partnerships recently, especially with some of the world's biggest football clubs, I would go ahead and say that they are definitely on track to continue to see a lot of growth. But whenever you start to look at one of the specific features of their platform, I definitely think they stand out, and I think it could be something that many people on my channel specifically could try and see how they like it. And that's of course going to be their copy trade function. So what the copy trade function is it basically allows you to automatically trade with some crypto experts, in which you can see their background history, you can see exactly what they've done, you can see their profits, their losses, you can see the amount of people that follow them and the amount of volume within their actual trading following itself. And so for that reason, you can really specifically dictate exactly who you're going to do the copy trade with. And then from that point forward, you can then go ahead and make money if they make money, and of course take losses if they take losses. But what's pretty amazing is the fact that they do have many filters, in which once you use these filters, you can really see exactly what they have going on, and you can see their track record, right? You can see the return on the return on investment, the ROI. This guy, of course, has over 3,000 return on investment total total profit and loss is $400. The AUM is sitting right at $300,000 with 140 of 150 followers. And of course, you can use all of these different filters to really see exactly what they've done and what they have going on, how many followers they have, and how they have performed overall. And so as you do go forward, as you're you're choosing these traders, you have to make sure that you're looking for someone who has consistently provided great results, as well as has a good bit of followers, in my opinion, because I think that does kind of help justify their credibility. So with that said, I think it's very interesting. I think it's something that definitely has a lot of potential. Of course, if you do sign up, you can get 153 USDT bonus, and that also does help in terms of just seeing gains and starting your own portfolios. And so with that being said, of course, there are risks attached to copy trading, but overall, considering the fact that they are a top 5 exchange and they do offer unique features of that nature, with I would say a lot of platforms do offer copy trading, but they don't offer it to the degree that BitGet does, and they're not been as successful as BitGet has. I definitely think that does put them up there as one of my top choices. And so with that being said, that is why we did bring them to the channel today. But with that said, that is going to be about it for today's video, and of course I hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, you can always let me know simply by smashing that like button and subscribing to the channel if you are new, and I will see you all next time. Peace.